So sometimes I come up with these topics and before I get into it or start typing, I say to myself, do I really want to go there? Do I really want to talk about that? And what do I have to say about that? And why is having to say something about this even important or noteworthy or newsworthy or demanding of 5 minutes of your time? I mean, really, that's the fundamental question, right? This is, you ever get like see one of these things on wherever? Maybe you see it out at the coffee shop or in the supermarket, or you overhear a conversation, you just see something on social media, and you just go, ugh, what is that shit? You know what I mean? Like it's just that thing where you're like, what is this person trying to say? And it's so stupid or inane or whatever. And I don't know. Maybe you watch my shit and that's what you think, but I'm still gonna talk anyway, because I'm not special, and you're not special, and nobody's special, and everything I think is just what I think, and it doesn't mean anything. I mean, I believe it, but it's not special information or privileged information or excessively excellent information. It's just my thinking. In order to, I really wish that I was alive during ancient Greek and Roman times and I could just sit around with people and talk and philosophize and examine. And I find it fascinating anyway. So a lot of this 5 minutes is just me and my thoughts. So let's talk about being special. So, um, you know, it's sort of like this. I as a believer in conscious creation, and also this idea of oneness to all humanity. I believe there is nobody that's really special, like better than, right? Because we're all part of the same energy, part of the same being. I also recognize that everybody's got interesting and unique talents, gifts that make them sort of set apart or special. But in the same way that you have a special gift in this area, I know nothing about that. And then I'm special or gifted in that area. And yet, even talking about this makes me feel like it sort of sets up a separation thing or an us and them, like you're smarter than me over here or I'm smarter than you over there. And so let's talk about things like, mental changes. It's not mental changes. Mental differences within us and of us, not just in terms of how our brains work, but also because we're all different in regards to, the combinations of wholeness that we have from, intellect to emotions. And some of us are more prone to be highly intellectual, some of us are more prone to be more highly emotional, and I think everybody has varying degrees of those things. There are also people who are more deeply spiritual, right? And so like way back when, if you didn't think the way that people, I guess, I don't know, expected you to think, or if you didn't somehow fit into a category of what the typical child person was supposed to think, it was like they started looking at you and thinking, well, what do we have to do for this kid? And sometimes they identified a deficiency, right? And then they put you in special classes. Like I had a problem speaking, and so I was in speech class probably from first to third grade. I don't even remember why. Maybe because I talked too fast. Anyway, but it was something where I needed special attention, but it wasn't something where anybody was undermining or questioning my intelligence. And I didn't question my intelligence as a result of being put in this class. But there were other things and other kinds of things, other events happening, and mental whatever, out of the norm kind of things going on with children that we were starting to recognize. And for me, I'm going to say something that might be controversial. I don't even want to say it's going to be controversial because, again, it's just what I think. We started doing things like calling kids like ADD, ADHD, OCD, like initials, and then trying to figure out like what that was and how to deal with it. And I don't have and sometimes people will say to me like, "Oh, you're so ADD or you're so OCD." I'm like, "No, I'm not either of those things. I am a person who thinks the way I think because that's the way I think and that's the way I do things. And I don't subscribe to the fact that even if I get down on my hands and knees with my finger and clean the counter, that makes me OCD. In the same way that I don't think that basically like if you don't do that, you're normal or whatever, or not OCD or whatever. And so now what's happening is this thing like, oh, we defined all that as bad. And now we need to turn around and say it's like this special gift or talent. And I'm kind of sitting here going like, why do we have to keep defining it? Like everybody I know is like a little ADD, a little OCD, a little not, a little fucking nuts, a little sane, a little overly emotional, a little too logical. And I don't think the problem is really like a certain subset of people that we need to label and then figure out how to fucking fix it. It's like, I think that like what I would like to see is this expression of people of all different kinds of thinking, and more so instead of trying to figure out how to define what it is with this person or child and then either like put into a classification or medicate it or put it into a group, that maybe what we could do is just allow people more individual expression and more of this unique idea of being special, not better than, but different in some ways than the rest of us. Because I think too, it's like a lot of what bugs me is this idea that we're kind of supposed to get to this place where we're all supposed to be similar or the same, or I don't know, and it kind of like bothers me because I know so many different people that are so different, and then in some ways they're really a lot the same. Like humans are very much the same in a lot of ways in the way that we're thinking, we're feeling, we're discerning, and even in my opinion, spiritual. So anyway, just some thoughts. Take it or leave it, because you are special. Don't forget it. I really do believe that. Every single person is special in their own way. Have a great day.